Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug you. Long was 1975.
Bet you never saw this one coming. Welcome to another arcade versus best home port. In this case, we're going to be taking a look at Hard Drvin, because that's right, misspelling is cool. It was released in the arcades by Atari in 1989, and it was incredibly advanced. It was a driving simulator that was fully polygon. You got to remember, around about this time, everything else in the arcades was pretty much 2D sprite scaling. This was originally envisioned as a driving simulator, then became an arcade cabinet. It almost didn't make it because the cost of the cabinet was $11,000. Put that into perspective, there was going to be an arcade version of The Last Starfighter a few years prior to this, which I believe was going to be polygon as well, and that was pulled because the then head of Atari said no person, no arcade is going to be able to afford $11,000 on an arcade machine. But they did. Well, there were various iterations of the arcade cabinet. I believe there were 11. I saw this full sit down one where you sat in like a front half cockpit of a Ferrari Testarossa. Obviously it has a sequel as well. Now, I saw it in the arcades back in the day and I absolutely loved it. I sucked at it. In my defence, it's 1989, so it's 5 years before I could even drive. And you could play it with a full, clutch and manual gearbox, which to me never works in arcade games. This is just a boron, by the way, but I'm going to mention it because the clutch never has any resistance and therefore feels pointless and not like a clutch. But anyway, I played it with the automatic, and it was the stuff of legend when I was a kid. Everyone saw this, and you got to remember, my age generation, this absolutely blew us away. I mean, look at it. It's full 3D graphics. It looks absolutely fantastic for the time. Now, the reason this is an interesting one to do arcade versus home ports is because there are a bunch of home ports, and I'm going to be doing the Megadrive version because the Megadrive version to me is the only home port to do this any justice. I'll get a little bit more into that when I play that version, but you got to remember when this was ported to stuff, and there is a Spectrum port. Yep, I've got a gameplay of it. But the hardware this is running on, this system has 32-bit graphic processors. It has 2 of them, and it has a digital signal processor. There was nothing that could touch that on the home systems button. Absolutely nothing. Now this is actually running it in the Midway Arcade Treasure 2 collection. Anyway, I've waffled long enough. Let's get into it. Right, so start. Obviously you got 2 tracks. I'm going with auto, so the right buttons are Xbox, obviously. Accelerate, right shoulders, I should accelerate and brake. There we go. First games introduced replays as well. Right, start. Obviously I got a time limit. Now, it looks like 1 track, it breaks into 2 tracks. That's a Corvette. Wow. Now, it's going to look incredibly crude. It is. But put your mind to 1989 and think about all the other arcade machines. I'm talking to you pesky kids, not old people like me. Ooh, there is nothing. Oh, titchy, nothing that came close to this. I forgot how titchy the controls are. There's a cow over here, isn't there? I want to hit a cow. Or is that the other track? No, that's the other track. You've got a stunt track and a speed track. Time is ticking down in the middle console. Don't know why my wing mirror is not working, because this is supposed to be the arcade hardware. Or did your rear view mirror work in the arcade? I can't remember. Playing this as the stand-up version, that was just impossible, especially if you were going to try and do it with manual, but come on. It's great when you race around and you see the other side of the track, or how it integrates both tracks together. Again, this was unbelievable for the time, visually. Yoink. No music, just screechy noises. Now you got to be really, really careful when you go over anything with speed. Oh balls! There you go, replay sexy. because depending on how hard you land, I'm about to run out of fuel, which is at the time. Yeah, depending on how hard you land is, oh, start shit. Will smash your car up, basically. I just fell through the floor. Wow. I wonder how accurate that is to the arcade. I'm going to leave that in and not start. That was actually kind of broken, but cool. Look at it. I'm falling through infinite worlds and dimensions. Right, there we go. Game over. It's actually giving me credits. Can I put more credits in? No, I can't, because it's not me. Right, we're going to try the second track. I guess there's no music, because it was, like I said, it was originally developed as a simulator. Overtaking is a bit... I guess then they would have thought, let's put it to the arcades. I don't know the full story, so you don't forgive me on that. Where's the cow? Check it out. It's pointless. Your lunch. Yeah, I guess they thought, you know, there was nothing around at the time. Let's make it into an arcade machine. Them kids will love it. Right. There we go. Not too much speed. That's kind of a nice touch. Landed so you can see through the ramp as you go up to give you some indication of what's going on beneath you and around you. Oh, this is... Oh, no, hang on. What? There's a traffic jam. I'll go on the outside. That's the kind of guy I am. Oh, fuck. See, on the Megadrive, you hit it, you just go around it. You've got aim on this one. I completely forgot about that. Right. And that, you have to... Okay, that's a bit too much attention to realism there. You have to start your car, but the time keeps ticking down. Right, I'm not going on the outside. Again, transparencies. Ooh! Useful. As is the line in the middle. Very useful. Woo! What do you mean I'm off road? Technically, I'm still on road. Oh, air. There we go. 12 seconds. Come on, checkpoint. Oh, yeah, because it's basically a checkpoint-driven racer. Yoink! What the hell? I don't remember it being this twitchy, titchy. 17 seconds. Hard! I remember it being this hard. That's what she said. Sorry, that's the stick shift. But thank you, I'm here all week. Sorry. Way! Come on! 2. Oh, it's all the way over there. Shies and balls. Now one will go and we'll do the speed track. But do you know what? Stuff like this, and it's why I do this series, to me is still incredibly impressive. I noticed that my credits aren't ticking down. Oh. You can chuck a U and go the wrong way. Again, in the arcade that was something, because you couldn't do that obviously in any of the 2D sprite scalers, so that was something else to warp your tiny little mind. I'm supposed to be in a Ferrari. Why is this bloke beating me? Boom! That never got old as a kid. Right, getting used to that. Just hold accelerate down and just press the key. I don't remember that pillar. I'm sure it was there, because this is supposed to be the arcade game, isn't it? So it's 90. Is that kilometers? Kilometers? Or... correctly miles, which it will be globally when I come to power. See, you lose your speed as well when you're going around the corner. This must have been mind-blowing back at the time. And I don't just mean to ickle kids like me. I mean, if you were used to driving and then stepped into an arcade and saw this, I wonder how many adults could actually play this. This would just go, oh my god, it's got a clutch. In fact, I'm not playing that. That's like work. That screeching is getting into my mind. I'm obviously doing something wrong, because I don't remember it being this difficult to make checkpoints. Ooh, ooh, oh, you ain't. There's a train. Oh, balls. I got off put by public transport. It's much like in this in real life, I can't stand it too. Oh, there you go, Hard Drvin. In the arcades. There's no doubt this is still incredibly impressive, but back then was just way, oh look, music, ahead of its time. Now let's jump into the Mega Drive version. So here we go. This is Hard Drvin on the SEGA Megadrive, released by Tenjin in 1990. Now I'm sure there'll be people out there when I say arcade versus best home port are going to say, what about the Amiga? Well, what about the Atari ST? Obviously we're going to ignore the Commodore, the Amstrad and the Spectrum. And hey, there was an NES version, and I do have a gameplay of it, but it was never officially finished and released. But you can find a run. But I'm going to ignore the home computer versions because, well, one thing, it's my channel, sorry, and two, I do think this is a better port than the Amiga. I don't need to get into wars or anything like that, but I really do, and primarily this series is basically arcade versus home ports, being the console versions. Now, quickly, what I have to say is, you've got to remember, in 1990 when this was released, the Mega Drive is 2 years into its life. It's still a very early game on the system, and it's polygons. It's full polygons. I cannot state how impressive this was back then. As I said in the previous part of this video, especially when you consider the, the technology, the two processors and stuff, and the extra stuff needed to run it in the arcade. Now, it's a kind of love or hate thing. I remember it got really bad reviews back in the day. I'm not sure why, but it's a Marmite thing. There are those of us who absolutely love it and those of us who hate it. The magazines seem to dislike it. People like myself and Steve Benway think this game is absolutely amazing. Especially back then. Obviously I'm playing this on emulation because I'm being lazy for the purposes of this video. But basically you get both tracks, you get the option to drive manually, which is just through the roof. I borrowed this off the only other kid at school to have a Japanese Mega Drive, and may I quickly point out the fact that I had mine before his. In fact, I was the only kid in my school to have a Japanese Mega Drive. How a Mega Drive at that point, and yeah, it was awesome because I was cool. Anyway, right, so yeah, the Mega Drive should not be able to do this. The Mega Drive has no tech inside to do, like chuck around polygons to the level the arcades, could, but that didn't stop them trying to bang this out there. The frame rate takes a hit, but it still gets pacey in places, right? So you got auto, you got stick manual, I'm English, right, so start, you got your full sort of, console at the bottom. You don't have the pillar, which I'm alright with. Start your key. So you can see immediately the frame rate's a bit meh. But again, think of the hardware it's running on. Put on your blurry fucking retro gaming goggles, kids. Oh, yoink! You leave it way. It's got a replays, look. Yeah, it's just as titchy as the arcade. Oh, that's accelerate, really? Don't like that. Got to drive on the right, which is technically the wrong side of the road, if you're English like me. And there's a reason we drive on the left. It goes back to marching days with Romans. Look it up. Ow, my face. Ow, my friggin' face. And it makes sense. And it's the correct side to drive on. Ooh, look at me. It doesn't control the race, but look. It's all in it. Both tracks, speed track, stunt track, the way they, dissect or intercept each other. You've got to be just as careful with your acceleration, or you will, leave the track as you see me do many times, or you will land too hard and smash your windscreen. Checkpoint. Dare I say it's easier? It's all over the shop control-wise, but that's probably just me. I haven't played it in years. Dare I say it's easier in the arcade? Oi! That's what I get for saying that. Oh, hello. Like I said, you got to remember, like stuff like the 3DFX chip. 3DFX, the one, the chip on the SNES. That was years later. This hasn't even got that. It's not even got the SVP or anything. It's just doing this of good intention and hard work. That's right, kids. You can achieve polygonal standards too, if you stay in school and don't do them goofballs. And the other thing I used to love when I played this on the Mega Drive back in the day, because I loved it in the arcades and never thought I would get a home port that looked this tasty and delicious, which is driving circles. Is there an option to turn off time? I can't remember. Look, you can see the little car jumping over the bridge at the top. Yeah, just because it was because it's 1990, At this point, I was 3 years away from driving. And it was just like, I just want to drive or pretend I'm driving. And this was something else. Whoa! Sounds like you're being chased by a predatory shark when it does that bit. That's why I've never understood why people, you know, get attacked by sharks. Can't they hear that fucking cello music coming miles off? Sorry. Extra time. Right. Where's the loop? What track? A stunt track. When do I get to change? Will I get to change? So yeah, considering its frame rate, it gets pretty pacey in parts. Right, we want to go right, don't we? No, we don't. Oh look! The road's intercept. Little car above the top. Ooh, finish. Extended play. Sounds like a role-playing game when you do that. Right, we want to go right. This is unbelievable! Again, I'm steeped in a world of furry nostalgic goggles. Where's a cow? Oh, you lucky bastard. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I got my, you know, nostalgic goggles on, but this still looks impressive to me. Sorry about you, barn. Point to the quote. There you go. Attention to detail. Many points there. And I've wound the clock down. And we're not going to get to loop-de-loop. What is it? The basic speed to hold consistency. Well, you got transparencies to loop-de-loop. Is 30, 40 miles an hour? It's not as fast as you'd think it would be. You've got to be consistent. Ooh, petrol station. There we go, look. Now I think I just accelerate and hit it and it does the rest for me. I could be wrong. I'm wrong. What am I thinking of? I might be confusing it with the Spectrum or maybe the NES. We're doing that again because I want to go loop-de-loop. I like the fact that you get more music in this. Oh look, you could change it from miles to kilometers. Obviously, I'm not got game mode. Practice, there you go. Fuck it, easy. There we go. Hello. See, attention to detail. I'm assuming that wasn't in the arcade. This is such a good home port. Again, I'm sure you're probably going to say the Amiga's better. That one's fucking star. I don't know, maybe it's me. As I said, this is a console comparison to the arcade, but I just think this is mind-blowing. Ooh, chop. Choppy, chop. They should have put this in Wreck-It Ralph. What a horrible world you would have been trapped in to endlessly go around in this. I mean, I love it, but if you're, you know, self-aware. Don't go too fast over the bridge. So now that I know that you can't just absolutely, ooh, Shell Station, gun it round the loop. You do have to control it. That makes this a really impressive. Go left. Ooh, left. I'm taking that. I got round. This is yeah. So even that, this is just a full-on impressive arcade. But why didn't the magazines, or maybe I'm made that up? Maybe I'm dreaming. Why weren't the magazines as impressed with me? Because they were fools. I mean, I'd love to know what you think about this back in the day. More so on the Mega Drive version, to be perfectly honest. Oh, bollocks. Oh, you can skip the replay. I would recommend checking out the Spectrum version, just out of curiosity, because obviously the Spectrum is my beloved machine. Arse biscuits. Okay, this isn't easier than the arcade. And the fact that they actually attempted to port it to the Spectrum, with all its faults, but the fact that it has polygons is something else. But then also, to be fair, I will say that there is race driving on the Game Boy. Ooh, where was I going? Don't have dash cams in 1989. Insurance companies were rubbing their hands with glee, weren't they? Yeah, the race driving on the Game Boy is an unbelievably good ports game and fully 3D, and I really do recommend it. Also probably some sort of driving test for me back then in this. Right, I'm taking the oncoming traffic route. Maybe I should just not accelerate outright. Oh, fuck it. How old was I in 1989? Young, I would have accelerated outright. It's the law. What? Oh, that's right, they take you out from behind. It's like prison. Right. Look at all your gauges and shit as well. That might be the way to do it, just stay off-road. Yeah. That's the way to do it. Hey! Referee! And we're out of time, there you go. Hard Drvin, arcade versus the SEGA Megadrive. The arcade blew me away back in the day as a kid, but I cannot, well hopefully it works out from my complete bollocks commentary on this, how impressed I was back in the day, how impressed I still am on this. As always though, I'd love to know what you think. Did you play this in the arcade? Did you love it? Which version did you play? Sit down, stand up. And when it came over to the Megadrive, or how any other version, what did you think? And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.